Welcome back, everybody. My name is All Fun and Games. I stream every day on Twitch TV, and I also make fun videos here on YouTube. The question recently got asked to me, what the heck are Klei points anyways? I made a few videos explaining or talking about how to get yourself free Klei points, and then of course, how to get free spools and all that other stuff. But let's talk about what Klei points are in kind of short form so it's easier for the average person to understand. Now, if you don't know anything about Don't Starve Together, of course you probably got into the game and said, okay, I just want to play the game. I don't really care too much about drops or anything else. There's Twitch drops, there's Klei point rewards, and of course there's in-game things that you can then take spools and turn them into actual items. So, spools in your game, basically what will end up happening is, say if you want to spool like a hat, well, they require spools to do that. If you have multiple of the same items in game, you can unravel them to get spools. So what Klei did to kind of entice you to go through the process of doing a few different things, they have encouraged you to get Klei rewards, which turn into spools. So essentially Klei points, which you get from doing certain things, which I'll showcase in a second here, will turn into spools. And then Bolts of Cloth is pretty much online, and then they do the same thing for if you are on the Nintendo Switch. Anyways, so what you do is when you go to your accounts.klei page, which will be linked down below, you can actually make an account, make sure that your account is linked, and then from there, just by doing simple things like linking your Twitch account, subscribing to the newsletter, you get certain things. You get little Klei rewards for just doing that. And then, of course, if you merge all your accounts together, the same thing happens. So you slowly accumulate a bunch of Klei points. They've also released every now and then where there'll be new Klei point links just by doing basic stuff. So hypothetically, what will happen is that the next update that comes out for Don't Starve Together, they'll shove a Klei reward page in there just randomly. For example, the current one right now is something called So Close. So when you click on that link, you're automatically going to get yourself 1,000 free points, which then can be turned into spools or whatever you want. So I obviously have 20,000 Klei points because I've accumulated a lot of these. What ends up happening is you can go through here and look, say, okay, this cherub's heart, for example. Well, it might have only cost 1,200 Klei points, so it's a rare drop, and if I want to claim it, all I'm going to do is click on it and redeem Klei points, which normally would accumulate here. And here and now, when I go into my game, I'm going to have it. Or I could use 4,000 Klei points to get 1,500 spools to spool pretty much, or to weave pretty much most items in Don't Starve Together. The ones that are listed here on the Klei points page are things that most likely have appeared as Twitch drops on for Don't Starve Together. There's random other assortment things here that you most likely will not see as a Twitch drop, but that's obviously, they're just scattered all over. For example, the bottomless fire pit. So yes, so basically the way it works is you click on a link, the link gives you Klei points, you take the points and you get whatever item you want. If you don't want an item on the list here, you convert it to spools and so on and so on and so on. And then eventually down the road, you'll have enough to redeem whatever you want, if you want spools or all that other stuff. And in the link down below, or if you go and type !spools, SPOOLS on my actual Twitch channel, you'll get a link that'll showcase on how to actually do all this stuff and how to link your account for all that things individually. So the Steam community page was already made by another person who's done an amazing job of keeping it up to date. And yeah, so if you actually want to go through the process of checking all that out, that's what most people do. But I just want to showcase what actual Klei points are so you know what to do going forward. So get your Klei points, get all that stuff added up, and it all makes sense to actually make sure that you get it every time there's an actual link available so you can continue to go through the process of getting a ton of different Klei points, turning them into spools, and having pretty much every item in the game as time goes on. Of course, there's going to be some items that you don't have, they're not on the list here, but over time you will be able to accumulate quite a lot of points, so you can choose what you want. And each link usually has an average of anywhere from 1,000 to 1,700. Right now, the available points, you can pretty much get 4,000 points actually 5,000 if you include the newsletter, just by literally logging in and clicking all the point rewards. So that's pretty decent. That's almost 5 free skins just by doing all that. So obviously, if you don't care about skins, it's not a big deal. But if you do like skins, well, guess what? It's pretty awesome. And then you got to think too, is if you grab all these, you can then unravel them for actual spools too. So there's a lot of bonuses for doing that. So anyways, thanks again for watching. I'll see you in the next one.